here we go, ladies and gentlemen. Rocket going to start on the killer side. Xeno going to bring out the survivor, and it's going to be our police officer. And ladies and gentlemen, that can sometimes actually be pretty dangerous, because I heard when you are playing this police officer, you might be the victim of a 2-tap. And this is hopefully not happening to Xeno. And off we go, ladies and gentlemen. Around the shack we circle. It is going to be the battle of the titans. I'm just going to call it like this. Rocket and Xeno, both literally famous in the community for their skill and for their experience. So absolute great quarterfinal ahead of us here. Let's see what they can bring out. Xeno being a little bit zoned towards the outside here. Rocket using that immediately to break the pallet, making sure that Xeno is going to be in a tricky spot, and that's an early injury coming out here. Xeno now running towards the midsection where we have a lot of stuff to work with the pallet over here, windows, but I think he opts to go for the fun bus. Will be very decisive. What layout we have for Xeno? Is it going to be the strong one? And the answer is unfortunately not. We have the weaker window available. Xeno playing around that, finding the next filler pallet. Shock doesn't come out. Does circle around here, going over towards this pallet. Jim, so far strong recovery from Xeno, I would say, but he needs to win this mind game.
Yeah, and I think he's slowly but surely winning the mind. Oh, this is so scary. You throw the shock, then you're kind of forced to one side, and you just get walked down just like that. And that is going to be the down onto Xeno. Dyer, I'm just going to ignore the 2-tap joke that you just said earlier because I'm rolling in my grave right now. No, I'm just kidding. Look. Am I... It's possible I might be getting old because I'm starting to think that these jokes are actually funny. Like, I think I might be cooked. They're pretty good. I'm not gonna lie. The 2-tap one was pretty good. That was really good though. I mean, yeah. Go ahead. Sorry.
Yeah, just 115. That is not the greatest.
Yeah, I think on Doctor, I think on Doctor this is really good. This, like, Rocket doing a one like Xeno running a 115 is pretty good for Rocket. I'm not gonna lie to you. I think I think Rocket on Doctor is usually on the upper side of 130. You know, like 130 or higher potentially.
Let's
see what's gonna happen. Yeah, it's gonna be crazy though. What do you think though? Like what? This is pretty bad, right? This is pretty bad for Xeno. Like, this might be a Rocket win game
115 is tough, right? 115 is tough because usually you can always run the shack at the beginning and you will be able to gain some safety. Even if you pre-drop the shack pallet, which is in the 1v1 community, you are then very often coming out as a loser, apparently. But even if you would pull this strategy and you are dropping the shack pallet immediately and then circling around a little bit, that is already 20 to 25 seconds that you can get out of that. Then you take the hit later, you take the distance to the next tile. So we are talking about 35 to 45 guaranteed seconds anyway. So this is not intended to be a joke this time. The window of opportunity is actually pretty small, and it's only around these 30 seconds that are then missing to make it from 45 to 1 minute and 15. So Xeno basically needs to get immediately the injury here. He needs to pull something unexpected for Rocket and really needs to surprise him somehow, either with a completely good read here inside of these jungle gyms, for example, reading what Rocket is planning. But as long as Rocket is just running the outside and keeping it on the distance, it will be really difficult for Xeno to meet the win condition of 115, especially with the life now. And then a nice turn there, faking that he would stay over there. Rocket has to now go towards the vault. Xeno did find him though, so everything is fine right here. But that should be the deal. I feel like that is the win for Rocket, even if he gets the injury here now.
Yeah, that was a Rocket jiggy for sure, 100%. I mean, just the fact that I mean, you have the speed boost of the Lithe to do those fake outs. Normally, I don't think you could do those fake outs so easily without the extra speed boost that you get off an exhaustion perk. So very, very good resourcefulness and good awareness from Rocket. Yeah, definitely well over the win con at this point, which is kind of what we normally are used to seeing. We're normally used to seeing like a high, you know, a high 120, 130 minimum, right, from Rocket on this killer. So misses the hit through the window. Unfortunately, behavior kind of giving us a little bit of a pass right there compared to earlier, because that last hit earlier was disgusting. So now it's like, okay, now we're no nonsense at this point. If you're Rocket, so still kind of hanging on through. I feel like we haven't used a ton of pallets as much as you normally would against the Doctor, just because like you're thinking about pre-dropping because of the fact of that shot can do so much to you. Misses the hit again as well, and still kind of hanging on, just leaving the loop all entirely. This should be a catch-up pretty soon, but man, this has been a clinic from Rocket for sure.
This is crazy, yeah? And once again, we need to talk about the momentum that you build up for the upcoming set here, because this was Rocket's pick, the Doctor, but I feel like Rocket also really likes the Demogorgon, at least from the information that I have. So it is obviously Xeno's pick that is coming up, but I think Rocket is fine with playing the Demogorgon. That is not something that will make him super, super uncomfortable or worried about the upcoming set. So it is going to be Xeno losing the first set here. However, that has happened in every single match of Xeno so far. He was always down by one set, and then he took it back to back and forced the opponent that looked like being in an advantage into leaving the tournament. So Xeno being down by one set is absolutely not an issue for him.
Yeah, he's been here before
under pressure.
Yeah. He's been here before. Absolutely. So I already see, you know what, I'm gonna interact with some of these people in the chat. I know exactly what video these guys are talking about. If you either watch Ivan's stream or if you watch the comp DVD video on Ivan versus Xeno, the Xeno. I see that, I'm like, okay, dude, that was something for sure. but regardless, we're still gonna be we're still gonna be powering through here, like you said, Xeno. Already have been down before. We're gonna have to see if we can actually you know, just lock it in. I mean, we've seen Xeno play, like, you know, sometimes has unfortunate situations happen, you know, during games, not just in 1v1s, but in 4v1s mostly. But then when Xeno locks in, he's arguably the best player in the world. Like, it is actually insane.
Seems to be an issue with the lobby.
Yeah, not 100% sure what happened. Xeno Lee might have to remake the lobby as well. So, but regardless, I think we're just kind of getting set up a little bit. I think having to remake the lobby as well. I'm not sure what exactly happened, but like you said earlier, we were dealing with oh, okay. Shout out to the people kind of helping us in the back. Apparently, NA servers we got loaded into, so definitely makes sense. Obviously, want to play on your servers in EU for sure. So, so hopefully now that we get this. Sorry, go ahead.
Just like when reading this, when we are having 2 EU survivors and an EU spectator from DBDL, how do we end up on NA servers?
Yeah, you're actually right.
That's my question. Right. How is that possible?
Yeah, you're not wrong. You're not wrong, actually. That's insane. Actually, y'all need to come down to the trenches. 1v1s in NA, this is where the bonds are forged. This is where heroes become legends. Like, you guys want to play NA servers so bad, trust me. I'm just kidding. Don't do that, please. Man, that's very unlucky, to be honest. Wait, I didn't even realize.
Seems like we're good now.
Yeah, I didn't even realize this is demo. They let Rocket go demo for Killer 2? That's crazy. I guess Xeno feels very, very comfortable on demo. Yeah. I think Xeno really likes demo in that case as well, right?
And that's a disadvantage, right? Because yeah, and I hope that he calculated that Rocket also really likes the demo. Because usually when you're picking a killer, right, obviously you want to find something where you are confident, and in best case your opponent is going to take a little bit of a position like a disadvantage, and this is just not the case here. So Xeno might face a little bit of a challenge here, giving Rocket the Demogorgon. So far, wonderful mind games right here, even though the more tricky ones are going to come out in favor of Rocket. Going to move around here, so let's see if it's going to be the injury very soon. Not going to be successful with the shred attack either. Rocket going over towards the window over here, and we are spending way too much time on that tile here. It is not the safest pallet in the world. Eventually the injury is coming through, but if you're asking me, that took too long to get the injury into Rocket. You didn't waste a lot of resources, and on 1 minute and 12 the injury coming in, that is definitely not going to be something Rocket is going to worry about. He still has a lot of resources because he really utilized this one pallet there to the absolute crazy end. That was a really beautiful play by Rocket.
Yeah, 100%. Definitely really beautiful play. Like you said, that first down might have been a little bit too quick right here. Can we make it to this window though? Probably not. Gonna get the crouch deck right here, and then you do make the window regardless. Even with the medium ball, you see the little nod, the little yes from Rocket right there.
Yeah.
This might be it though. Yeah, there's nothing else here, but man, that was a what a way to cook right there for sure. So gets that crouch, and that crouch bought you like 10 seconds probably. So very, very strong. It's gonna be 2:01 for Rocket. That's a pretty good time for demo. I think like players like Pedro, Rocket, and Ivan, I think on demo are getting like 115, 130. So this is a really good time for Rocket.
It really is, yeah. 2 minutes is completely fine, especially when we are on this level of killer players, right? Demogorgon is really, really strong in the 1v1 environment, so going beyond that 2 minute mark, even though it's just by a few milliseconds, can definitely be a good reason to feel strong and good about it. So very well done here. Let's see if it's going to be Rocket actually taking it with a 2-0, which would be something I'm not expecting, or wouldn't have expected before at least. If you would have told me that Rocket is taking this, I would have said, yeah, I can see that happening, because he is known for his 1v1 content, he is known for his ladder experience, but winning it in a 2-0, that is something I wouldn't have expected.
Yeah, definitely a 2-0 over Xeno of all people. Definitely would be a crazy result. And look, what you're saying, obviously Rocket having a ton of experience, making most of his content on 1v1 ladder. Let me rephrase that. Rocket literally lives in the server. For those of you who don't know, Rocket is always playing 1v1. So not only content at that, at that, but I feel like that's usually all he plays. I feel like he plays way more ones than he does 4v1. So, but it's gonna get the early tag right there onto Xeno, even with the finesse light, able to shred through that. That is a very, very early hit. That is an insanely early hit.
Yeah, and that is going to be much more difficult now. Under 15 seconds into the injury, basically leaving 90% of the trial in the injured state. Not a single mistake can happen here, and Xeno is pathing a little bit wild here towards the absolute edge of the map. Unexpected for Rocket, who needs a second to sort himself there, and finding back towards Xeno. Nice crouch tag, exactly that was needed here to make it happen. But then right after that, it is going to be the optimistic swing, and here we go, ladies and gentlemen. We have to say goodbye to Xeno, and that after an impressive 2-0 from Rocket. That was insane gameplay from Rocket right there. Really, really huge.